The press seem to be getting a slightly different angle on all of this, questioning the support that Solskjaer has within the locker room, the support that Solskjaer has outside of the locker room, and Zinedine Zidane once again linked to a move to Old Trafford. For more on this, let's welcome in, shall we? Mark Ogden, Julien and Nedum Onuoha join us. Mark, why do these rumours persist?
Well, because United aren't doing very well and nobody really has the ultimate faith in Solskjaer that he can turn it around. I mean, after the 5-0 defeat at home to Liverpool, the briefing from the club was Solskjaer's safe, there's no concern, he'll get it right, etc., etc. Remained the case after the 2-0 defeat against Man City. But prior to that, after the Liverpool game, the club made sensible moves and assessed the options out there. And the options were, well, obviously Antonio Conte was one option at the time, didn't fancy him. The two guys they would take now if they were available are Brendan Rodgers at Leicester and Mauricio Pochettino at PSG, but neither are available. They're both gettable if United are prepared to pay the money, but at this stage they're not. So that leaves Zidane, and I was told that 2 or 3 weeks ago United looked at Zidane and thought that the numbers didn't stack up. He'd want a lot of money to come, he'd want a lot of money to spend on players. Weren't really convinced that he would, master a league he's never played, doesn't know the league, doesn't know the players very well. So Zidane for me is a rank outsider for this job, but the rumours are there because Solskjaer is struggling. They've got a tough game at Watford at the weekend, then it's Chelsea away next week. If they keep losing, then they might have to turn to Zidane because the other options aren't, at the moment, gettable.
We had Frank on the show yesterday, Jules, who kind of said slightly something different when talking about Zidane, the possibility of going to United. He's like, he's quite happy in Madrid. Life's pretty good at the moment. He doesn't really need that headache. He's still very much got eyes on the national team.
Exactly, Dan. That's right. That's what we keep saying on the show as well. He knows that whenever Deschamps steps down, which more likely would be after the World Cup in Qatar in just a year's time, or maybe after the Euros in 2024 in Germany, but sooner rather than later, that job will be available, and it's Zidane's. It's pretty much all agreed. We all know that he's the one coming next after Deschamps, if he's not already in the job. So for him to go to United and signing, let's say, a 2.5-year deal or 3.5-year deal, doesn't make much sense if in a year's time he has to step down from the United job to go and take the France job. On top of that, like Mark said, the fact that it's England, that he's never really been keen on as a player or as a manager, where he doesn't speak the language, which is a huge issue for him, who based a lot of his management on management, and be able to have that kind of relationship with his players, mostly by being very close to his dressing room. If you don't speak the language, already there's a barrier between you and them, you and your players. So despite Ronaldo and Varane being at the club, I still think it's a very long shot for them to get Zidane.
Why don't United just go to Leicester and give them lots of money for Brendan Rodgers, Mark?
Well, I don't think it'd take that much money. Let's be honest, United paid 40 million for Donny van de Beek. They never play him, so you could get a manager for half of that. So I don't understand why clubs are so reluctant to spend a decent. No, but it's a serious point. Why are clubs so reluctant to spend on a manager's compensation when a player who could cost 2-3 times that doesn't have the same value? Now, I understand that a player might have a resale value, but the manager or the coach is the most important person at the club. So I think United are, hoping naively that Solskjaer will turn it around. But what you see on the pitch doesn't suggest it will be turned around, and that the players have lost faith in Solskjaer. That the tactics are, bewildering at times because they're non-existent. The fans have lost faith in Solskjaer. So it's only a matter of time now before he actually goes. He can't limp on forever, and the next games coming up are tough. Watford away, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home. I mean, it's really hard to see United winning any of those games. I mean, Watford away maybe, but this is Man United. We shouldn't be saying they might win at Watford and not win against Chelsea. So I do think they're going to have to make a decision pretty soon. Rodgers, I'm told, wouldn't be averse to going to Man United, despite his Liverpool past. I think Pochettino would be keen as well, despite the fact he's tied up at PSG. But United have to make a move. They've got to be bold. They have to say, right, we're the biggest club in the world, or so they keep telling us. Prove it. Go and get somebody's manager.
Nedum, when you step out of your mansion in Manchester, what are the people on the street saying about who they want?
It's a long walk to get to those streets, but I think overall, it's like everybody's been saying there. Manchester United as a club, they are the biggest in the world, but they seem to be behaving in a completely different manner. And the way that they are on the field, it's quite staggering, to be honest. Most of the people I know who are Man United fans, they're so dejected because they have lost faith in the manager, and they're starting to lose faith in the players as well. What is the feeling there? And I think the fact that they're suggesting that maybe, Solskjaer can have the whole season and so on, like, is this what they're willing to accept? Is this position now, say, being 9 points off top of the table, going into like the middle of November? Is that acceptable for Man United? I don't think so. Yet still here we are, where nothing seems to be changing.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.